What's going on, everyone? Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. Today, I just want to talk a little bit about taking care of yourself, or how I take care of myself and why I go to the lengths I do. Um, so, besides the obvious benefits of being healthy, as I get old, well, okay, let me first go over a couple of things. I touched on it in a video about a month ago. Diet and exercise are two of the biggest components here, right? So I try to stay away from all kinds of processed foods. I still eat them here and there, but I do my best just to stick with whole foods, one ingredient foods. A banana, meat, vegetables. Not something that's got an ingredients list as long as the Bible. That none of that stuff. To me, look, I have a hard time explaining myself. Words don't come to my brain as fast as I want to talk sometimes, so bear with me. But to me, that stuff doesn't seem right. Putting all that stuff in. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor or whatever. But I've gotten this far on common sense, and that seems to go against common sense. And then exercise, just basic. I don't do anything crazy, just body weight stuff you've seen on this channel: push-ups, sit-ups, squats, pull-ups. I'd like to get a dip bar so I can start doing dips. And then just some free weight stuff. Nothing crazy. Kettlebells. And then, you saw the video I posted yesterday of the cold bath. I do hot baths also, which I think I've talked about on here. These are things I can't really explain to people the medical benefits, because I'm not that smart, and I'm not that articulate. I just know for me, I feel better, and I want to do everything I can to mitigate health problems as I'm getting older. I'm terrified of surgeries and prescription medication. I want to avoid those two things at all costs. Look, I know somewhere down the road, I'm probably going to have to take some kind of prescription for something as I get older, but I'm 46 years old. That time is not now. And same with surgeries. Like, I just want to take care of myself, regardless of what the surgery is. My knees are terrible. I don't want to have to go in for like knee replacement or even arthroscopic surgery or anything like that. So I just try my best to take care of my joints. That's another thing about the cold bath, is it helps reduce inflammation, which feels better. Then I do intermittent fasting, which I've talked about, which I feel a whole lot better doing that. And you get these bozos that say like, well, everybody's gonna die someday. Well, no shit. No shit. I get it. I know death is an inevitability. Oh, that was a tough word for me. Uh, but man, that doesn't mean I gotta suffer with aches and pains and medical problems and doctors and all that crap for the, last portion of my life. And that might still happen, right? But there's unforeseen things. But I'm still gonna do my best to try and mitigate all that stuff. Another thing that I started doing a few years ago was, I used to get my physical done once a year, or actually, I could. My insurance would only cover once every 2 years up until I turned 45, I think. But anyways, whenever I would get my blood work done, I'd just get the notice saying everything looked normal, and I go, okay. And then more recently, probably a couple of years ago, I started requesting the physical printout of my blood work, reading through it, and if there was something I didn't know what it was, trying to do some research on how accurate, not accurate, that's not the right word, but it says you're like in a certain range on the different things they test for. So I just start doing research and keeping track for myself of like where my blood work is at. Not just that it's normal. Like, what does that mean? Am I at the high end of normal or low end of normal, of all these different things? And then looking into what natural ways. I know, like, as soon as you say natural, people get this idea that you're some dirty hippie into all this woo-woo nonsense. That's not what it is. I'm just like, I'll be honest, I don't 100% trust doctors. I had my doctor actually tell me on my last visit that I don't need to be taking vitamins. So like, this is the kind of stuff that leads me down a path of self-help, But yeah, look for natural ways to remedy things. Years ago, a doctor told me my cholesterol was at the high end of normal. So I looked up how I could resolve that without medication. And I followed the steps. And guess what? It worked. And my cholesterol has been normal since then. So these are the things I do. And if I could afford it, so now my insurance covers physicals once a year. If I could afford to pay out of pocket to have blood work done 2-3 times a year, I 100% would do that. But that's just not, it's not something I can do right now. And then there's the mental aspect of it all too. Alzheimer's is a big thing. It's, it seems like it affects everybody's family at some point if, people grow to be a certain age. And I'd just like to be able to do what I can to help reduce the chances of that setting in. or at least push it off as long as I can, you know. I do like puzzles, whether it's crossword puzzles or actual jigsaw puzzles or Sudoku or whatever, just something to keep my brain engaged. And then the things you see me doing on this channel, while, you know, a lot of it's physical challenges, it's also mental too, because it's just mind over matter. And that, to me, is a thing where, you know, when I was a kid, you play sports and you have the highs and lows of winning and losing, and, you know, you're working towards something, you get excited about something. Now at 46 years old, there's none of that. So I got to create it for myself, you know. I get excited when I push myself to a level that I didn't think I could get to. And it, you know, it feels good, makes me feel good. And I think that keeps me mentally strong. And that's, you know, it's what I'm doing here. Just trying to make myself stronger mentally, physically, to live as good of an existence as I can. So that's my rant about taking care of yourself. Oh, and if you're a guy or woman too, like, there's preventative things that you need to get done. So I just, last summer of 2023, I had my first colonoscopy. And when they told me it was time to get a colonoscopy, yeah, I was just like, okay, let's do it. And, you know, it's not because I'm excited about the idea of a colonoscopy, but I want to reduce the risk factors, or like, I just want them to be able to find what's there as soon as possible. So whenever they tell me I got to go again, I'll go again. I think they told me 5 years. I actually said, this was another thing. Yeah, I gotta find another doctor is what I gotta do. But my doctor, when I went for my physical, said that he didn't think my insurance would cover a colonoscopy yet, and that he wanted me to do Cologuard. And I was like, okay, I get it. And see, now I'm gonna go against what I just said. I was like, I'm not in a box, okay? It's not like, what are we talking about? Take a dump in a box. I'm not. So I called my insurance company, and they were like, oh yeah, you're covered. So sign me up for the colonoscopy. If that was my only option, I would have done it, but good Lord. Anyways, all right. I'm done ranting. That's why I this was just a video talking about why I do the things I do. Take care of yourself. You know, prescription medications, they might help one thing, but it seems to me that they do a great job of screwing up 10 other things. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, share. Again, I'm by no means an expert. This is just my thoughts on things and, you know, what I feel is best for me. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.